Well, Australian tennis star Nick Kyrgios has been provisionally suspended after testing positive for cocaine. The 31-year-old was drug tested as part of an ATP 250 tournament in Spain. He's released a statement saying, "I recently failed a drug test in Mallorca after testing positive for cocaine. I made a huge mistake and I take full responsibility for it." Now, Europe correspondent Elias Cleo is across this story and joins me now. Elias, tell us more about what's happened here and what else has Kyrgios had to say?
Well, we know that Nick Kyrgios has been suspended by the Men's Tennis Organising Committee since August 4 after he tested positive to cocaine in Mallorca, the island in Spain. We know that he's been provisionally suspended, but we're not yet getting any clarity on how long that suspension will be. We do know that Nick Kyrgios says he'll take about a month away from the sport. We'll get to that a little bit later. In terms of what Nick Kyrgios has said, well, he says he takes full accountability. He says he made a huge mistake and he wants to take full responsibility for it, apologising to his fans, his friends, family and sponsors. He said that he didn't want to make any excuses for the mistake he's made here, but he did say that he wanted to provide some context, and that context is that, according to him, the last few years have been extremely difficult as he experiences the ongoing toll of injuries. He's had a long career now in international tennis. And so the mental and physical toll of those injuries, he said, well, he's sort of explaining his actions with that, in that context. He's also said that it was quite really candid in this statement. He said that he didn't choose tennis, tennis chose him. And he almost implied that he feels as if his career has been slipping away, and this is perhaps a way of, again, him explaining his recent actions, the fact that he's been suspended. And so we now wait for, I guess, more details from the organising body, but also more commentary from Nick Kyrgios, although he does say he'll take about a month break.
Yes, so he has been playing tennis, as you mentioned, for many years now. At this stage, though, what does this mean for Nick Kyrgios' career?
Well, he's well and truly into the twilight of his career. For all intents and purposes, Nick Kyrgios has had a successful career in tennis. He reached the number 13 ranking. That was his career high. He reached a Wimbledon final. He won the first set of a Wimbledon final. He lost to, obviously, Novak Djokovic in that match. But many people would do anything to have the career he's had. And it was an interesting statement he made in that sort of statement that he recently sent out, announcing or declaring that he had been suspended. The idea that tennis chose him, he didn't choose tennis, that's something, this idea of that has kind of followed Nick Kyrgios his entire career. To be an elite tennis player, you need, obviously, the physical gifts that Nick Kyrgios has, the drive, which Nick Kyrgios would have had to reach number 13 in the world, but then an obsession with the sport. And perhaps that's something that Nick Kyrgios has lacked for a lot of his career. And certainly when I spent an afternoon with him a few years ago, he was playing basketball with some kids down in Sydney, and he seemed way more at ease around the local kids playing basketball than he did around his fellow tennis players. And I think he's always seen himself as more of a basketball guy. He is a big Los Angeles Lakers fan. I spoke to him for a long time about his love for the NBA. He never really saw himself as that jet-setting tennis player that was obsessed with the sport. He's now ranked 919 in the world, and even him being suspended, there was no chance of him qualifying for Grand Slams going forward. And so he has previously seen perhaps doubles as a way for him to make a bit of money on the tour and get back into Grand Slams, but perhaps that's off the table as well. So, as I said, he's taking a month away from the sport, says he'll be off social media in that time as well. but it would be one of the most extraordinary tennis comebacks in history if he could even get Grand Slams, get to the final stages and get his ranking back somewhere within the top 100. That seems incredibly unlikely at this stage. But stranger things have happened in sport, and Nick Kyrgios is certainly someone, although I said before that he's not obsessed with the sport of tennis, he is an incredibly driven person.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next. Elias Cleo in London, thanks very much.